Hey everybody, Roshni here. In this video, I want to build on how to use the power of awareness to reframe something that too many of us struggle with, perfectionism. Today, we'll be exploring the Japanese concept of Wabi-Sabi, an appreciation for life's imperfections as a tool to overcome fruitless striving. If you're someone who's struggled with perfectionism, check out this video to understand how embracing Wabi-Sabi might be exactly what you need to extract more meaning, more learning, and more creativity from your work and from your life. If this is your first time at Expeditionary Mindset and you'd like more practical tips to level up your professional and personal reinvention journey, then subscribe and hit that bell icon for more updates. Okay. So to illustrate Wabi-Sabi, take a look at this exposed brick wall. Whether you like this look or hate this look is not important, but ask yourself this: would you even notice this wall if it was a perfectly painted, flawless, blank wall? Same here. We've got a bunch of pottery. What's interesting and noteworthy about it? For me, it's the uneven edges, the imperfections. If it were all perfect, uniform, 100% precise in its angles and its lines, I don't think I'd even notice it. And it definitely wouldn't be as interesting or as unique. And that speaks to the essence of Wabi-Sabi as it is expressed in the material world. Now, Wabi-Sabi is the Japanese principle of embracing life's imperfections and celebrating understated simplicity. Now, these types of irregularities, imperfections, they're all around us, both in objects and in nature as well, and in life and at work. So wabi means simplicity and living in tune with nature. It describes somebody who is content with what they have, somebody who learns to accept nature and appreciate the imperfections that come with it. Sabi refers to the passage of time and the transience, the authenticity of age. So together, Wabi-Sabi describes a concept that is akin to seeing the perfection in what is imperfect. It encourages peace in what is uncomplicated and simple. In life, imperfections might take the form of a crack in a plaster wall, antiques, those used, worn, wrinkled clothes, or aged and faded photographs that show the passage of time, that are imperfect, but still very beautiful. And at work, these imperfections take the form of incomplete ideas, flawed processes, imperfect solutions, napkin scribbles, sudden ideas, draft versions, all the things that are kind of half-baked, imperfect steps towards a more perfect product. So what does all of this have to do with perfectionism? Wabi-Sabi means that accepting the way things are and not trying to force them into what we want them to be is the way forward. Ultimately, this is sort of the opposite of perfectionism, the constant striving to create or transform something into a perfect version of itself that honestly is probably a mirage, since perfection is in most instances an impossible standard to live up to. So embracing Wabi-Sabi at work means taking things at face value, appreciating things as they are instead of striving to perfect them, and being discerning about when it makes sense to strive for 100% precision or perfection, and when done is way better than perfect. If there's one thing that could be taken from the principles of Wabi-Sabi, it's a fresh perspective on how we perceive work. When we learn to acknowledge and appreciate our imperfections, we raise our self-awareness and we become much more understanding, more forgiving with ourselves and with other people too. We appreciate that while precision and striving for perfection have their place, especially at work, there are many, many aspects of life and of work that benefit from improvisation, from uniqueness, from differences, from diversity, and from imperfection. There are 3 ways in which an understanding of Wabi-Sabi can help us reframe ideas that hold us back. The first relates to how perfectionism holds us back at work. First, it's important to note that Wabi-Sabi doesn't mean just ignoring our mistakes or brushing them off. acknowledgement is a key part of this. But instead of overthinking mistakes, instead of beating yourself up over mistakes, it's important to reframe them to see them for what they truly are, which is an opportunity for learning, an opportunity for growth. And if you've already gone through the trouble of finding out what not to do, what doesn't work, you can focus on trying a different approach next time, growing from the mistake. Analyze the mistake, learn from it, what worked well, what didn't work well, what could be done differently next time. This is what growth is. This is the fundamental building block of developing a growth mindset. And Wabi-Sabi can help us get there. It can help us reframe our mistakes, leverage our mistakes, failures, setbacks, whatever you want to call them, as a basis for learning. Beating yourself up over a mistake gives the mistake way too much power. Ignoring the mistake means you're probably going to make it again or confront the same issue or problem in a different context or form. So instead, you can focus your awareness on the mistake in a non-judgmental way by putting in the effort to find out what doesn't work. If that's a hard thing for you to do or jump into, here's a first small step you can take at work or wherever you are. Just start looking around. Start looking around and acknowledging beauty in the imperfect aspects of daily life. This is the small daily tweak that you can make to loosen perfection's grip on you. This is a small way to start practicing Wabi-Sabi and innovation, creation, brainstorming, idea generation. These processes that bring about great solutions, innovations, improvements at work, they all have one thing in common. They're all messy. They're all imperfect processes. And if you are somebody who has struggled with perfection, you're going to be way less likely to create something wonderful in your professional life, no matter what that looks like. The process of creating requires messy prototypes, drafts, trial, error, stray ideas on Post-it notes. That's the Wabi-Sabi of work for many of us. And even if most of these imperfect products, there I was imperfect, wind up in the literal or the figurative garbage can, they are all essential steps towards successful creations that are more precise and way more perfect. So the road to creation is littered with these half-baked ideas and imperfect attempts. And that is the beautifully imperfect and yet perfect creative process. So ultimately, perfectionism is this kind of small picture challenge, right? Perfectionists inflate the importance of a given task, assignment, product, project, sale, whatever it is that they're focused on. And they lose perspective in the process. On the flip side, true creativity and innovation, they're bigger picture faculties. They view the transience of work, processes, products, services as a beautiful opportunity to do something bigger, better, more creatively than before, more efficiently than before, even if it takes some trial and error to get to that bigger, better solution or future. And so finally, number 3, the other area where Wabi-Sabi can help us reframe is interpersonal relationships at work or really anywhere else. So as Leonard Cohen, the singer, put it, there is a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in. What does this mean? It means appreciating the imperfections in others and in yourself is part of Wabi-Sabi. Accepting someone else's faults instead of trying to fix them, it leaves more time, way more energy for enjoying that person. And whether you're a manager, a team member, Wabi-Sabi at work is being valued fully for who and what you are, and valuing those that you work with for who they are. By homing in on their strengths instead of fixating on their imperfections, really seeing what they bring to the table, imperfections and all, you're going to recognize how to use their authentic talents and strengths to the advantage of your team, your business, your organization. So all of this really goes back to us as individuals. It's all we have control over anyway. So the small step that we can take to bring our authenticity to work is to stop striving for perfection and trying to reach some impossible standard. Instead, repurpose that time and energy that you would be spending aiming for perfection towards aligning your actions and your words to your values, reflecting your best self. Authenticity goes such a long way towards eliminating weird drama, power struggles, other misunderstandings in the workplace, and it's a much better focus for your energy and your awareness at work than perfectionism is. If you found this video helpful, please comment, check out more videos on realizing your purpose, on channeling your awareness in these videos up here. And I wish you all the best with adopting an expeditionary mindset and letting go of perfectionism to embrace Wabi-Sabi. Comment below on what's worked for you, and look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers.